Hello, dear students. Hope you all well. Today we are going to read our next chapter, Unit 4, Section C, When the Fish Laughed. It is a play which is adapted from a Kashmiri folktale. Folktale is about an extraordinary occurrence in the everyday life of a person. So, this play is about a queen who calls a fisherwoman who's selling the fish, but the laughing fish offend the queen, who's both hurt and teary eyed. She narrates all her story to her husband, to the king, who is in turn orders his minister to find out the reason behind the strange behavior of the fish. The minister in turn gives the task to his son, but will the son be able to solve the mystery? Or if not, what will happen to him and his father? Let's read the play. So, first of all, I'll introduce the characters to you. First is King, the ruler of the kingdom in the valley of Kashmir. Queen, his newlywed wife. Wazir, the chief minister of the kingdom. Amir, Wazir's son. Bhaskar, a well-to-do farmer. Hina, Shivani, Bhaskar's daughter. Hina, one of the queen's maid. And servant, Bhaskar servant, and at last fisherwoman. Now scene 1 started. Here, as we can see, the queen is sitting in a balcony and she is amusing herself by watching people who are carrying their wares to the town market. She hears the raucous cry of a fisherwoman. Raucous means loud or harsh. And then she instructs Hina to buy some fish from the woman. Queen, Hina, buy that big silver fish. Oh, wait, is it a male or a female fish? Fisherwoman said, it is a male fish, Your Majesty. Then Queen disappointedly said, oh, I can't eat it then. Then Hina, why? Yes, of course. We allow no male apart from the king himself to enter Her Majesty's palace. Here, Hina is saying, yes, we cannot allow male fish in the palace because no male is allowed in the palace except king. Right then, a loud laughter is heard, and everyone looks around at each other, looking for the source of laughter. With wide open eyes, fisherwoman shouts, the fish is laughing. Everybody looks into the basket, and indeed a fish is leaping about with its mouth open. The queen flushed with anger. How dare you? Guards! Guards! 2 guards from the front gate of the palace approached the balcony. Queen said, get hold of that woman, tie her up. The frightened fisherwoman leaves behind her basket and starts running up the road as fast her legs can carry her. Meanwhile, the queen angrily marches off into her bedroom. Now scene 2 starts and queen is inside the bedroom. Here queen is saying that how dare a fish laughed at me. Maids, draw the curtains and leave me alone. I'll not see anyone. Inform the king that I'm angry. A merfish. The maids draw the heavy curtains and leave her. The room is dark. After a while, the king enters hurriedly. King asks lovingly, what is it, my dear? Who has dared to offend you? Queen, tearfully, my dear husband, I have always been honored in my dear father's kingdom. Never in all my life I have faced such humiliation. A fish, a merfish laughed at me in public. Queen, with now king, with confusion and doubt. A fish laughed at you? What do you mean? Queen, with rising anger. Don't you believe me? If you think I'm lying, I'll leave at once for my dear father's house. King consolingly, no, my dear, I do believe you. Don't be angry. Wipe away your tears. Your tears give me more pain than they give you. Give me few days and I'll punish whoever is responsible for this offense. The queen leaves the queen's the king leaves the queen's bedroom. Here scene 3 start, and in scene 3 we can see it is inside the Wazir's home, and Wazir is sitting with his hat in his hands. His son Amir enters. Amir asked with great concern, "Father, what is the matter? Are you ill?" Wazir, "No, but soon I'll be dead." Amir, what an inauspicious thing to say, father. Did anybody hurt you? Tell me. Tell me, and I'll help you. Wazir, you can't, Amir. It is the king. He will have me killed if I cannot get to the bottom of the strange incident that occurred at the queen's palace today. Amir, what happened? Tell me everything. Then Wazir said, "This morning, as the queen was buying fish from a woman, a fish started laughing at the queen." Now Amir disbelievingly, "What? A fish laughed at the queen? How is that possible?" Wazir said, "Possible or not, the king is certainly out of his mind. He has given me a week's time to find out the reason behind the laughter of the fish. If I am not able to do so, he'll surely have me killed. I have absolutely no idea what to do." Amir is silent for some time, stroking the beard on his handsome face. Then Amir said to his father, "Rest assured, I'll surely find the solution to your problem." Wazir, "All right, my son, though I do not have much hope. This may probably be the last time that we two stand in each other's company." Then father and son embrace. Here scene 4 start. Scene 4, a big warm kitchen in farmer's home. It is afternoon. The farmer's young and comely daughter is serving lunch to her father, who is sitting on a low flat stool with the little table in front of him. Comely means attractive or pleasant to look at. Her Bhaskar said to Shivani, "Shivani, today while returning home from town, I met a strange young man on the way." Then Shivani said, "Why do you call him strange, father?" Bhaskar said, "He would ever so often speak in a manner that I could not make head or tail of. Like when I invited him home, he asked me if the beams of our house were strong enough. Now, wouldn't you call that strange?" Beams means part of the roof, a strong piece of wood or metal used for supporting weight. Then Shivani said, "Oh, father, he seems to me a very wise man." "He only wanted to know if we had enough food to feed him. You should have told him that the beams of our house are strong enough." "Where did you leave him? I would very much like to meet him." Bhaskar said, "I left him standing near the local inn." Then Shivani calls a servant and gives him a bowl of porridge, 12 chapatis, and jar full of milk. Shivani said, "Go and find the young man, my father met him. Give him these and tell him this, that the moon is full, there are 12 months in a year, and the sea is full of water." This means the moon is full means ball of porridge is full of porridge, 12 months is related to the chapatis, and the sea is full of water is related to the jar full of milk. Okay, and also tell him that he is invited to dine at her house this evening. The Shivani said to the servant, "Go and give all this thing to him and said the same line to him. Servant said, I'll do as you say, mistress. Then the servant leaves. On the way outside, he meets his son, who is hungry. So he gives him some strong porridge, two chapatis, and half of the milk from the jug. He returns after a while. Mistress, I did as you said, and the man thanked you and accepted your invitation. He also told me that to tell you the moon is new, there are 10 months, and the sea is not full at all. Shivani understood all those things, and Shivani, in an angry tone, wicked servant, you stole from the food that was meant for someone else, and you shall be punished for this. Go away from here. Now servant leaves, and it is scene of evening. Amir is at Bhaskar's house. Shivani is serving dinner to Amir and her father. Amir tells them about his father predicament and his search for the person. Predicament means a difficult situation, okay? And his search for the person who could solve the mystery. He feels that Shivani might be that person and ask for her advice. Shivani, it is clear why the fish laughed. This Shivani is saying to them that it is clear why the fish laughed. There must have been a man inside the queen's palace at the time. So Amir said impossible. He would have been caught immediately and put to death for such an offense. Then Shivani say, not if he was dressed like a woman. That they cannot kill him, or they wouldn't have been kill him cause he might be dressing like a woman. Realizing the logic of her argument, Amir said, of course, I must rush home and give this news to my father. Here scene 5, and the king's palace ground. A feast is going on. The queen is present with her maids. The king has organized this feast on the advice of Wazir's son to get hold of the man disguised as one of the queen's maid. A large deep pit has been freshly dug in the ground. Wazir. This is a kind of pit they have dug to caught that person. Now Wazir said, now we have a game for her Majesty's maids. I mean this they dug a big pit, and this game is for the Majesty's maids only, means Queen's maid only. His Majesty will reward 1,000 moors to the lady who can jump over this pit. They kept a we can say they said that whoever among all the Majesty's maids, whosoever will be able to jump over this pit got 1,000 mohors. Mohor means gold coins. The king said, impossible. Who can jump over the pit? I mean, it is impossible for a lady, for a woman to jump over the huge pit. Then one by one the maids try to jump over the pit but fall into it. Instead, finally one maid does manage to fly right across to the other side of the pit. Then all of a sudden Wazir said, gods, get hold of that person and remove the veil. That is a main. Veil is a fine piece from which we protect or hide our face. Okay, that is called veil. Our mother used to take veils, no? That is a main. So here one person managed to do so. So here Wazir shouted, guards, get hold that person. That is a man. The person tries to escape but is captured by two guards. When the veil is removed, the person revealed to be a man. Then the king said to the queen, this, my dear, this is the reason why the fish laughed. A male was already in your palace. It is the wisdom of the Wazir and his son that has helped us to catch this culprit. Then queen said, oh, that's so terrible. The Wazir and his son have prevented the crime this man intended to do in disguise. Your Majesty, such wisdom must be rewarded. The Wazir and his son were indeed rewarded with lands, gold, and jewels. The Wazir retired to the palace built near a lake, where he lived happily with his son and his wife Shivani. Here at the end, Wazir and his son figure it out that why the fish laughed, cause a male person is there in the palace. That is why fish was laughing. So at the end, king gave so many golds, lands or jewels to the Wazir, and Wazir started living in the palace built by near a lake, and Amir and his wife Shivani, they all lived happily. That's all. I hope you all understood the story. Read it twice.